Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi.
Garvette,
At your service and your families.
and please welcome the latest member of our team, Forte Maestro.
Do I get paid for this?
You get paid just as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yes! Wait a minute.
There are some pretty significant perks to be podcast.
Yes.
Number one, you might be recognized on the internet. Number two, you might even be recognized in game.
Yeah, players might send you free stuff, but you don't get anything from us.
All right. And also, please welcome our special guest for tonight, Sanswinda.
Hi.
Hi, and despite your name, it sounds like we had a lot of talking here. So-
Ha ha, Pineleaf, yes. Continue. Let's
So,
move on.
Let's begin. Let's begin with asking our guest Sanswinda how she got into Tolkien and into the Lord of the Rings Online and also into our community.
Well, I was introduced to Tolkien in college. I took a class on British fantasy literature, and it was definitely one of the best classes I took in college. And I've read The Lord of the Rings, I think, every year since then, or listened to it being read. And was looking for with some scholarly discussion on it and stumbled across the Tolkien professor and his book on The Hobbit and started listening to his podcasts, which are pretty awesome, and started hearing him and Maven talking about this crazy thing called Lord of the Rings Online. So I watched Grifflet, the Hobbit burglar that the Tolkien professor made and plays on the LOTRO stream, and got partway through the first episode and created a character on LOTRO.
Awesome.
So I have been playing since March of this year, and I'm trying to think, how did I get into the community? I heard Maven recommend several times the LOTRO Academy podcast for learning how to play the game. So I was listening to that. And then I started realizing that I was coming up to current episodes, that these things might still be going on. So I joined the field trip one week. And then, I don't know, not very long ago, after the field trip, Pineleaf was like, "Hey, can we talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Sure." And I'm on the
And then 5 hours later.
Yes.
it did take longer than a minute.
Yes.
But yeah, now I'm part of the LOTRO Academy podcast. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
That's my story.
Then let us head into game news, and the only news that we have is that we had an update 19.1, which has pretty much the same changes that we discussed last week when it took Gorer.
Yeah, pretty much. I did want to point out that there is an interview that was done in English by German players, by a German LOTRO podcast, and they actually talked about in the interview how apparently LOTRO has split into two different teams. There was still some hypothetical expansion stuff, so it's not clear if this is still like the hypothetical way that an expansion would be done, or if this is what is actually going on. But in theory, LOTRO has two different teams right now, which is the normal content team, and then they've also hired on additional people for an expansion team for the Mordor expansion, which is really good news that they're adding employees to the game to, really flesh out this expansion, which should gain them more money if, players buy it, so it should pay for the employees. So it seems like a very smart way to be approaching the expansion and still getting content out for the players.
All right. Then let's head into our sales this week. And Terry, what's on sale this week?
Well, this week's free sample is an Essence Reclamation Scroll ×1. Use coupon code UNHOOK, one time per account. That's UNHOOK, one time per account, and 30% off some really awesome stuff. Expansions and expansion quests, skirmishes and instances, enhanced XP supply, token of the Hornburg, and mark acquisition boosts. Woohoo!
And I did want to point out, for people who are wondering who this Forte guy is that we just added to the group, who's just not talked very much on the show so far, you can go back and listen to episode 114 of LOTRO Players News, and you can hear all about how he got into LOTRO and Tolkien and all that stuff. And yeah, we're glad to have him on the team.
Yeah, I just walked into the room. I mean, I'm not. Okay, fine. All by choice. Maybe.
And Forte, you are cutting out a bit. You might want to check your mic. I forget what it's called, but the amount that your mic picks up in Discord. I don't know where that is.
Ducking or sensitivity.
Yeah, mic sensitivity. Somewhere in settings.
LOTRO Players News is brought to us this week by a new and improved timer.
Having trouble getting out of bed in the morning? Know that your fellowship will leave without you if you are late one more time. Can't seem to get the timing right on your baking and are burning those pies? Get the new and even more improved Pineleaf Countdown. This Hobbit-sized timer will keep you on pace for whatever you need at regular intervals. Countdown reminders come standard at 20, 15, 10, and 5-minute intervals, which can be changed for your situation. Now with 5-minute increments for the timer functionality and the desktop version auto updates. Never miss your raid again. Get your Pineleaf Countdown today.
Today.
Save us all.
From
Yes.
LPN. Ding.
Let's head into our news for this week, and we'll
That's
begin
a
with
good idea.
community events. Community
Move on,
events.
move on.
Community events for November 11th through 17th. And does anyone have any highlights they wish to mention here?
I do. Forte here. Just for you guys all know, this actually on Landreval itself, we concluded the November's Forte's Academy of Music. So actually, for those interested, next Saturday at 4 p.m. server time, Eastern Standard Time, students fresh out of the academy, what tired laughs, fresh out of the academy will actually be performing concerts for the first time over there at Bree.
Awesome.
Nice.
So throw tomatoes if you have them.
Throw tomatoes? How rude.
Rotten apples left over from last year's Winterfest.
Rotten fruit from the old West.
All right. Anybody else have any community events they wish to highlight?
I would like to thank Turbine for sharing our community events article again this week, and do appreciate that. And there's just a lot of great community events in here. And again, you can search by server, or there's also now, calendars for each server that you can check the events on, and the events that are coming up that aren't even on this week even.
All right, then let's head into our poll on how many more doors until Mordor.
Yes, finally, this was a bit of a fun poll that may or may not have been inspired by a video this week that we might be talking about later on. And it's just asking how many potential doors are still in wait until the potential Mordor expansion comes and, in theory, would add even more doors to the game. At least one giant door. And so the answers or questions, or however you want to phrase it, were: one does not simply guess the number of doors until Mordor, with 49%. 0 to 5 with 34%, 5 to 10 with 7%, 25 plus with 6%, 10 votes, and 11 to 24 with 4%. So, it seems like most people think that there aren't that many more doors until Mordor.
Well, I guess no matter how many doors you have, all you have to do is remember just to hold the door, just so someone gets through.
Yeah, so that they can simply walk inside.
So you're saying that that poll was adorable.
Oh, this is quickly going downhill.
You know, it was actually adorned with many compliments.
Like I said, quickly going downhill.
Yes.
No, and dang, we should
all
let
your
the show
fault.
hinge on these things.
You're right, Carb.
One
yeah.
good turn deserves another.
It's all your
Let's
fault.
head into LOTRO Academy After School Episode 11. And Sans, was this your first after school?
No,
No, what? Okay.
I think it was my
Wasn't
third
actually third.
Oh, third. All right.
because we had the two back-to-back ones.
Yeah, we had the
just
two
before that.
back-to-back ones. Yes, just before that. All right, and this is where we have our usual monthly shenanigans.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. That's all.
They're not wanting to self-incriminate themselves.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
We should add again.
Well, after school is
yeah.
basically like our off-topic episodes. We've condensed them into a monthly thing, so it's whatever we've been up to in the previous month. And then there's a Stump Pine Leaf segment, which is always entertaining for some people.
And it's also a pun if
Yeah,
you pay
I
close
think
enough
it-
attention.
Yeah, I think it's entertaining for Brannick. I'm not too sure it's entertaining for anyone else.
Pine Leaf, I enjoy it. It might be just me and Brannick, but at least
Yeah.
us two enjoy it.
I'm sure that there are plenty of other listeners who find it entertaining because people have left comments and will occasionally send in Stump Pine Leaf questions. I don't participate because I'm still making up for a certain body bag incident that's also Andang's fault.
When did someone kill? Someone die?
It's a long story.
It's-
I had thought that was paid in full after Matt Heathertoes, but
It was
claiming
overpaid.
that that's
Yes,
still the reason
yes.
why I don't participate in Stump Pine Leaf.
Certain.
Indentured servitude?
But yeah, Forte, we didn't let you know that you're now part of the criminal organization of LOTRO Players News with body bags and
No!
It's like what had happened was.
all right.
just
Let's
so
hit it.
we do need to explain, I think, for anybody that's wondering. It was part of a plot in the show of Tales of the Free Folk, our roleplay show that we used to do. So there you go.
Now let's head into the Family Line part 108, The Dream Before the Awakening.
Still holding out for the PDF.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty long PDF.
So
It
what they're
is.
saying is families don't daydream.
They are the dream?
Well, they have to dream before they awake, so they can't be dreaming while they're awake.
Tell me
You know,
that.
metaphysical, man.
Well, sure, you let Carve do the door puns, but then when Andang makes a terrible joke, it's... anyway, let's move on, Pine Leaf.
Let's
That's
let's
because
head,
You're Andang. That's why.
let's
I know.
head let's head to Critter's Journey number 47. Balrog? Must be Critters.
I'm wrong for check
And
that out.
Title pretty much sums up
The whole series.
Sums up
the
the whole
entire
series.
series. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, a Balrog had, like, chiggers or something?
That works for me.
You gotta look at the It just involves something ruined. Yeah, ruined.
Well, everything in Lord of the Rings is ruined.
There's a lot of ruins.
Even the jokes.
Yes. So let's head into Poems of the Pine, Snows of Wildermore.
Is it ever not snowing in Wildemore, Pine Leaf?
Certainly not-
Actually, I did find a couple spots that weren't snowing.
Yeah, that's true. And
But
it
then a
used
lot
to
of
not
people
snow.
dead.
It used to be very green there, I hear.
Yes. banished from the west and barred from crossing the silver waters of Snowborn River, we continued our fight against foes of the mark till we found the harp of Horn's mentor. Then word reached us of Wildamore's plight, where winter and cold kept firm hold. We searched the snows till we saw the might of Nurzum, a giant. To help us fight the fell giant, we searched the Balewood for a sleeping end. To wake Weeklock we loudly fought the orcs that defiled the forest's bounds. Leaflock did wake the woods that slept to fight the foes of the forest. And Nona we found to renew our group as we left the wilds of Wilderness.
No glue on in there. I see how it is, Pineleaf.
Wait, what?
This was supposed to be a classy poem, not a...
Oh, snap.
Most of the
Shots
kind of
fired.
classy series.
Besides, I would have said Glaowina.
Well, I'm glad that he wasn't in there then, Pineleaf.
All right, then let's head into our weekend Lotro, and we'll begin with Carvet. What have you been up to?
Major milestone accomplished. I was able to buy my third expansion. I got Isengard today on sale, purely in-game earned TP. So that is the third X-Pack that I've been able to lock with no
That's
money.
awesome.
Only taken like 13 months, but it's okay. I'm just taking my time through the game. I only play about once or twice a week on that account, and it's been a lot of fun. You can play the game for free. It will take you a long time, but you can do it. Or you can spend money, which I do too. So either way, it's good for the community. Mrs. Carve and I chased Bingo all over the upper half of Moria to find him messed up at the bottom of the Fang Pit. Caused a bit of a ruckus with the local Marival population. Apparently burning their nests is a bad thing. I don't know. They were kind of mad at us. And just to kind of round out the week. Yeah, I know, right? Burning down evil bat ladies' cosmetic. Did some dating on my hunter in the Lone Lands that actually helped bump up the amount of turbine points I needed for the Isengard purchase. It was interesting. In the middle of the stream, I'm like, what's on sale? Ooh, Isengard's on sale. How much is it? I'm 3 TP short. Quick, what's the easiest deed I can do right now? It turned out I was only 30 dead / spirits short of the first tier of the kill dead things in Liquid deed. So I just happened to be working on the deed for Ashen Slades, or the part of the epic that takes you down into the Ashen Slades where all the ghosty spirits are. And I was like, this is a great coincidence. Let's go do it. And so I was able to buy Isengard on the way back, and that was exciting. And so, Senswinda, with really awkward segue from Carve, how was your weekend Lotro?
It was pretty awesome. On Sunday, I got to kill roving threats in Angmar with the girls of Middle-earth.
Ooh.
And having just gotten my first character to level 100, that was really exciting. And kind of nice to get revenge for the roving threats that may or may not have squished me earlier.
Good. Revenge is good.
No more toe jelly.
And I started the Dol Amroth dailies, which I'm looking forward. Well, I think I'm looking forward to having the armor. So.
Dol Amroth dailies, I hear you.
I think.
Right now, I'm still excited, except then I realized that I should start thinking about essences, and then I wasn't as excited.
See, you've reached that point where I was like, okay, Carvet sat in Dol Amroth, my main guard, for like months. Until I was like, I guess I better do the epic now. Because essences, man. But you've got friends, so you can mooch essences. So, awesome. Do it. Push forth.
And on Arkenstone, on the LOTRO Academy field trip, I healed for a group who were level 50, going through Carndoom, and we got to defeat Helchgam, and I avoided the Carndoom day spa. So,
Yes.
but that was a lot of
Been
fun.
there. Oh yeah. So did you fall in?
I did not.
Ah, Terry's really good at that.
I got to run someone who fell in though. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I don't know how much of it we got done actually, but I had fun.
We got to the point where we got the key, the ornate key, and then after that we did Helch.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about half, a third to half.
Okay. So that was
And
my week.
yes, Pineleaf has notes on everyone's weekend game, turns out. Pinepedia hired a few more employees this week to spy on everybody. So
This isn't Willy Wonka.
Pineleaf, why don't you tell everybody what I did this week?
Well, Pineleaf only commented on Sanswinda there.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Well, I have a feeling that you might have streamed with Bloodborne.
See, Pineleaf knows. See?
It's
not like
he's
it's
got
written
a
in the
black
show
and
notes
white
or anything.
Test document that he can refer to on demand or anything.
Well, this is probably part of Pinepedia, so see, it's part of it. Anyway, we're our own spies. So, this week I did stream with Bloodborne and had a lot of fun doing that once again. We are making our way slowly out of the Lone Lands. We started getting into some red groups and puddles of water, and that was fun going through that area in the Lone Lands, and we're getting ready to hopefully be moving on to the next zone. So, that's exciting. So, Forte, what have you been up to?
So, after being gone, actually, I've been gone for about 4 or 5 months because my computer took a crash. So, last week, I actually was able to kick off Forte's Academy of Music again on Landral. So, we actually kicked off our first class there, and today ended the second class of 3, which, because they were actually so quick, they actually have finished it 3 classes and 2 classes. So that's going to make it off for our graduation next week. So I had the graduation there, or not the graduation, the last classes there. And also, this past week, technically it's 2 weeks ago, but because I missed last week, I actually officially joined the LOTRO stream team on Twitch. So I've been doing actually streams there for the last couple of weeks. Pretty much on anything, and so it's been exciting. Tried doing my 12-hour 12-hour stream for Extra Life on, it would have been Friday, but my internet was crappy, so I really couldn't do anything. So I ended up having to stop, which kind of sucked. But other than that, so I've been trying to play my main for the last 9 years, and he finally, for the last month, or for the last couple of weeks here, he's been kind of lost trying to find quests, because he's in Ingmar right now. And there's that one quest that I didn't do, I had not done yet, and here I'm riding around, I'm 91. And I've already gotten the West, the West Fold. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck am I supposed to do. I'm 91 and I still have like 9 levels to go to get to the cap before. And then there's that one quest in Wildemore that I get. And it sent me on like 20 quests, 30, all those are like 25 quests in, what was it, the, what's that forest right there?
Fangorn?
Yeah.
The Balewood? Or...
Yeah, Bellwood.
Yeah,
All those
Bellwood.
quests there, your poem, literally just completely just recollected my last week with. It's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that part too. So that was my whole week. So I found all these quests. So I went through. I did all the other ones in Wildemore, but then not these Bellwood ones, like that one quest. And so I went through there, did all the rest of them. That one quest triggered for Wildemore, and then it sent me back to Edoras, so I was able to finish the one there at Edoras, the one I kept on dying from. And so it goes to show that with one quest, if you forget that one quest, you're forgetting like half the game. So
Well, it really
Glad I was
also
able to find
depends on
it.
the zone you're in.
It's
I
true.
have experienced that same thing in Wildemar. We miss one quest, and bam, you lose the rest of the zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all very linear. Wildemar, I think, is the only one that's that touchy about finding the right quest. I think all the rest of them have places you can jump back in. Wildemar, man, it's a stream of consciousness. You interrupt the stream, you're toast. It's like, what happened?
It was a simple one. It was like one quest that I didn't think it was very significant. Go south and kill some mounted wargs, and that literally killing that one triggered going to the big ice towers, and then eventually it led me into Bellwood. It's like, holy crap! It's like, okay, I won't forget. I won't just think that these are just nothing quests anymore. So now I'm finally. I guess I'm still in. Actually, I'm heading to what was that? Hundero. I can't remember what it's called. Just before you go into the Path of the Dead, and so I'm being sent there. Underharrow, yeah. So hopefully I'm back on course, and hopefully that's enough quests to get me to 100. 9 years at less than 100, and fine. Hopefully soon I'll be back to 100. What about you, Pineleaf? What trouble have you gotten into?
All right. I'll begin with my Warden on Laurelin, where I concluded the epic story for Update 19.
I'm so far behind you guys.
So that means that means now I'm all poised and ready for when Update 20 comes out, which is going to be several months from now, I guess.
Yeah, next year.
Right, next year. And I started a new series with a champion. So I created a champion and recorded
right?
Yes, I was trying to decide what to do with that one, and I remember that a certain Terry Edwin had gave me a hint. Race of man. Man.
Actually, what I said was dwarf, but you refused to make a dwarf. So I said,
Right.
okay, I'm not going to make a dwarf, do race of man.
Yeah.
Because you can't do hobbit, and elves suck.
No
And
disrespect to any else.
right. And I decided that I'm going to do this a little bit differently than most of mine, and that this is going to be a skirmish-free series.
Ooh.
Well, you're
That is,
probably
like,
tired
so
after all those skirmish
anti-Pineleaf.
guides. I'm
But does that
guessing
mean
that's
you're
like.
gonna like deliberately skip the epic in Moria and Mirkwood?
I've also decided that I will be doing minimal for epic in any case. I'm going to skip Mirkwood altogether and go into Enidwythe.
That's cool.
Because, why go into Mirkwood if I'm not going to be doing the epic?
True that.
If I'm not going to be doing skirmishes, well,
Yeah.
why bother going into Mirkwood?
It's a waste of an elven boat, really.
Well, it's like the skirmishes are the reason to do the epic in Mirkwood, or Mirkwood for any reason. I mean,
Yes. And then on Gladden, my Bjorning finished up the quests in the pavilion area for Pelennor Fields, and I reached a certain instance that Andang had recently been complaining about. And I finished that instance with one of the NPCs. I wasn't sure how critical they were, but that NPC really had me worried because it was like down to the slightest, tiniest sliver of morale at the end of this. And I'm just going, okay, maybe I should have had a yellow line available for this particular character of mine.
If I remember reading the notes right, they fixed it in update 19.1. So if you were doing this after that, then that should be fixed. And you can also lose one of the Rohirrim. You just have to make sure it's the right one.
Right. Well, and what did they fix?
I think they just fixed it to where it works now. So
Well, what did
so that they can
what?
die, in other words.
Oh, you mean that they were because they were popping up to give you how much morale they had, which usually implies that they're critical whenever they show their vitals. So I assumed that they were still that way because I ran that yesterday. Yeah, it would have been yesterday that I ran it.
Maybe I misremember the show notes and was just having hopeful, or the patch notes and was just having hopeful thinking. I don't know, but
Okay, we'll have to go back to the patch notes at some point. Now let's then go to Middle-earth video highlights. A simple walk to Mordor.
yeah. So this might have been the inspiration for the poll this week. This is just a fantastic video that chronicles the journey to Mordor, and kind of just follows along with the Fellowship through the Minecraft Middle-earth server, and it's pretty cool. The music combined with the visuals just makes it be just pretty amazing, and you really get a sense of just how big of a deal it is for Frodo and Sam to be traveling that far. And you just get like these nice little snippets, and it's just a real quick video that just encapsulates the whole journey. And I think part of the reason you don't really get the sense of just how far it is because, it's just such a long story, and you spend a lot of time, Tolkien spends a lot of time in a lot of these places as you're traveling through, like Rohan and Gondor, and so it doesn't seem as far as it is when you're just like seeing this quick video. So it's a pretty cool little thing if you want to check it out.
I love the fact that the creators of this world in Minecraft spent like years designing this place.
Yeah,
and
this has been going on for
so
years and
big,
years and years.
It causes problems on people who don't have super huge computers to run it. But the thing that made me giggle is that I look at the one comment that's on the video on Middle-earth Highlights, and it says, "What happened to the LOTRO graphics?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, I'm playing on super low res.
The developer of the original EverQuest took over.
Yeah, really. It's like it's amazing what they've built in Minecraft.
Yeah. And this video does have a funny ending that does kind of tie into LOTRO as well. They're kind of at the same development point as LOTRO, but do recommend checking out this video. It's pretty cool.
As for the patch note that you talked about earlier, it says the reclamation of Talathanor instance will no longer break if one of the writers is defeated.
There you go. So yeah, it was fixed.
Yes, but what do they mean by no longer breaks? I mean, that means that if one of them is defeated, it could either not break could mean that it gives you a fail message, will still not be breaking.
Either way, it's fixed. So I think
Yeah.
we're in a better spot.
I didn't realize that you were having it break.
I haven't done
completely.
it
I thought
since
that
then,
you were
Pineleaf,
losing
so I
it.
don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
I just know that it
Anyway.
was legitimately broken to where you could not progress in the instance the way it was before.
Okay, I had never had that experience. Okay. So let's then go into the One Ring Bundle of Holding. What?
Wait, what?
This is a little something by Draculetta, it looks like. And
Oh, yeah, it's the 7, the One Ring roleplay game, and it's like a bundle of all of it's.
Yeah, it's like a
Bundle of
starter
all their
collection
stuff.
type thing.
Ah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of interested in maybe picking up some of their adventure stuff because I'm getting the Middle-earth Adventures, which is the OpenGL license for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, by the same folks, Cubicle 7, and seeing maybe if I can pick up their adventures.
So to me, the way that I interpret this is that the One Ring Adventures finally got the huge bag plugin for their game, where now they have this bundle of holding type thing.
Nice.
we currently have 23 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News.
Yes, and we are, once again, could use support on Patreon because we're now having to pay more for podcast hosting and could really use your guys' support. We're also trying to find a sponsor, especially if Patreon support doesn't go up, so that might be a change that comes to the podcast at some point, is that we have sponsors at the start. We've been trying to stay away from that, but if we don't get more support on Patreon, we're going to have to do that. So that's just something that's going on.
Then let's head into our email box. And it looks like we've got a few this week. And the first one is from Barnabas and Andang. What did Barnabas write?
Yeah, I wonder why we have more emails this week, Pineleaf. I mean, it's not like that we completely asked for it last week or anything.
You mean by butchering a particular topic of what we didn't know a whole lot about?
Yeah, it's not like we did anything like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, Barnabas does write, "Hey do, Andang. I fired up an old LOTRO Players News podcast today and realized I've been listening to LOTRO Players News for over 2 years. Keep up the good work on your way to 200. On a side note, is Atheros podcasting anymore? I always thought he had an interesting take and point of view with his question of the week. Barnabas." So Atheros is not podcasting anymore. He did go on to do Guild Wars Players News, and then they went on to do an independent Guild Wars podcast off the Players Alliance Network. And now Atheros and Sithrith are just having fun playing through a bunch of different games without having to report on it or do anything like that. And so they're just really enjoying gaming just in and of itself. So that's kind of what's going on. But he still is on Twitter, I think. So feel free to message him and ask him for his take on stuff, I suppose.
I'm sure.
A couple of times.
What was that, Terry?
I've seen him in game a couple of times.
Yeah, he is also returning back to LOTRO, and Sithrith is as well, and they've been in game lately and been having fun with that.
All right. Then Mary Rose also wrote in. And Terry, what did Mary Rose have to say?
Mary Rose writes, "Dear LOTRO players, in regards to the finesse stats, I am a redline minstrel, almost maxed points in the warrior scald trait tree. I am still learning my class, so if there is someone who also responds who has played for 7+ years, please use their input first. I still feel very much like a newbie. Don't we all sometimes?
Yes.
Under the 4th level of the tree is the option to put 5 points into finesse. I had no idea what that was at the time, but I noticed the more points I put in it, the harder it was to get killed. I consider it to be like a second buff like Fate, invisible at first until taking points out of finesse and putting into something else. I did that and quickly put my 5 points back into finesse. When I look at my show all stats screen, it says it 1. Reduces opponent's resistance by 20.3% for level 79, and 2. Reduces block, parry, and evade by the same percentage. So, hope this helps Mary Rose Morning Song. So basically what she's saying is that finesse she's noticed that it helps her die less quickly because she kills things more efficiently. Because it
Right.
helps bypass resistance.
And she also said that she read the tooltip,
And she also said that she read the tooltip.
which is more
Yes.
than we did last week. So there you go.
Well, that helps, but it's hard to fire up the game and bring up tooltips while you're in the middle of recording. And we also have a message from Ben and Carvette. What did Ben say?
Ben says, unmute before starting to read. He also says, it has been quite a few months since I have replied to a podcast. I am normally a week or so behind your guys' podcast, but I just want to inform you that even though there are those of us behind your podcast, they are very useful to us. Between the great information and the giggles, I can't wait till I play the next one. Last time I wrote you, embarrassed at the time, how I was invited to a group and then was kicked while being told to learn my class. I was on the verge of quitting LOTRO right then when I wrote you guys about my situation. You guys informed me how I just got with the one group, and these are the type of people I wouldn't want to even group with in the long run anyway. You suggested, even though I was more of a solo player than a group, that a kin could help. You guys were right! I joined a great kin that helps each other whenever possible. I am now level 105, even though I'm not fully geared, but it's a work in progress. I'm having a blast running and meeting new people all the time. The kin even has to put up with me in TeamSpeak. Sorry about their luck. I just wanted to let each of you know that even though you may not realize it, you have had a big influence on my kin and me personally. TYVM, which is thank you very much. Now that all the sappiness is over with, get on with the show. Well, Ben, I remember your letter, and it is awesome to hear that you were able to continue on and find a good kin to hang out with.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
every LOTRO turd out there, there's a whole bunch of really nice folks. So,
It's true.
Yeah, it is good to hear from people that we are, making a difference in their gameplay and helping them find stuff that makes the game be more enjoyable for them, especially in that type of the game. So that's cool.
See, I've
That's
already
totally
been
why
here
I keep showing up every week.
Yeah.
I've already been here for 15 minutes. I've changed someone's life.
If you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotra Players @LotraPlayers, Andang @AndangLP, Forte @Forte_Maestro, Carvette @CarvetteLP, Maven @TolkienMaven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. And you can also follow our guest @SansWinda. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DO Players News. On Thursdays at 9 p.m.-ish U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at LOTROPlayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and this is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.